Hey guys, in this video we will try to explain our thinking process in the banning and picking phase to you. Today's video is gonna be casted by both Lierpace and me, Koella. For now, I will hand the microphone over to Lierpace, who will instantly start explaining.
Before a game, you should always think about which champions you want to play. Then consider which champion is the one your comp is built around. For example, you play Nunu, Kayle and Olaf. The team is built around Kayle. Nunu buffs her and has a good amount of CC for the enemy team, and if Kayle still gets focused, Olaf will rage through the enemy's defense lines. We will call this champion now the main champion of the team.
Now you will have to think about which champions could cause trouble to your main champion or could even counter your whole team comp. To give an example, Malphite is a strong counter to basically every support plus AD carry setup. So your first ban should be Malphite, because he's not likely to be banned or picked if not as counter pick. If you have the first ban, you will also have the first pick. If you do not have first pick, you should also ban Nunu when playing with this comp, because he's the second hard counter to an AD carry setup. After you have banned your team's counters, you can start banning champions that cause trouble to your main champion. For Kayle, those would be Riven, Wukong, Teemo and Diana. If you still have a ban after those champions are all out of the game, you can decide to ban any annoying champion you don't want to play against.
If the enemy bans or picks one of your champions, you always have to think about which champion fills the role of the banned champion to the best extent. For the mentioned champions, those second picks would be Leona for Nunu, Ezreal for Kayle and Irelia for Olaf. But pay attention, if the enemy bans Kayle, there is no counter to Darius anymore, who is really stressful to this setup. So you have to be sure to either have Kayle or let Darius be banned. If you're not first pick, you can also always play a bit of a mind game. You'll leave for example Nunu open, who sets a clear indicator for an AD carry to be picked later on if Nunu wants to be effective. But if they pick Nunu, you just completely counter their AD carry with champions like Malphite or Diana. If they don't pick Nunu, you can still go for him. But be sure that there aren't too much commonly played counters open anymore.
In 3v3, there are way more champions that you would consider slightly overpowered than there are in 5v5. But you will find counters to certain types of champions, and you just have to figure those out which hurt you the most. We for example always ban Rumble, Darius and Jax, no matter what. We can handle all other champions. Once you figured that, you will have to decide what you really have to ban and which champions you can leave open and maybe counter with different picks than initially thought of. There are no must bans in 3v3. Everyone has to figure them out themselves. If you want to be successful in the 3v3 ladder, you will probably have to do a lot of theory crafting sooner or later.
All in all, you can say that picking and banning is probably the most important stage of the game if the skills are about equal. The more you think about what you want to play, what counters your comp, and how you could possibly play mind games during this phase, the more of a chance you will have to win in game, provided that the theory is well thought out and executed. I hope we could help you a bit in understanding this very complex phase of the game. Constructive feedback is appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. Hope you enjoyed, see you next time.